And we're good.
Okay, we're all set.
Yes.
All right. Want to welcome everyone to the Babylon Zoning Board of Appeals meeting for February 17th, 2021. Before we get underway, I'd just like to ask a member, Carl Anderson, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Carl.
You're welcome.
And the way I'll spend a moment explaining the mechanics of the meeting. We have 3 applications that appear on the docket this evening. We're going to hear them in the order in which they appeared in the public notice. And the way we will do that is Mr. Weber will read each application. We will then ask the applicant to come online and to explain the variance that you're looking for and take any questions the board sees fit. And we'll go from there. Legally, we have 60 days from the time the docket's closed to make a decision. Most applications don't take that length of time unless they get more complicated and we ask for additional information from either the applicant or we feel we need to do some additional research, which happens in some cases. The applicant will hear from the clerk's office when the application, we render a decision. Any member of the public can get that information from the clerk's office as well by contacting them, and they will release that information once we release it to the applicant. The public has 7 days from today to have any other comments added to the record for any one of these applications. We've done that ever since we went remote, and we will include those comments in the record and take them under consideration. So with that, I will hand it over to Mr. Weber and for application number 1.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Application number 1. The application of Cindy Chiacherri, Royal Paws Inc., 141 John Street, Babylon, New York, for permission to maintain a dog grooming, training, pet daycare, and boarding facility on the premises located at 141 John Street, Suite 400, Babylon, New York. The property is located in Industrial District, Suffolk County Real Property Tax Map District 0102, Section 7, Block 2, Lot 86. Application made in accordance with Sections 365.21 and 365.35.
The applicant on?
Yes,
Yep.
we are here.
Okay. Okay. Can you give us, just state your name and your address, please?
Hi, Cindy Chiacherri, and the address of the business is 141 John Street, Suite 400, Babylon, New York.
All righty. And Ms. Chiacherri, can you explain what it is you're looking to do?
I believe it's just a renewal of our previous zoning to
Right.
continue doing business as we have been.
Okay. So we last approved this back in February of 18. So you recognize that this is the type of variance that we would continue to see each other periodically to check in to make sure everything is being done as it should be and there are no complaints and things of that nature. So you understand that?
Yes,
Okay. And also the letter that we gave you, the approval letter back in that February 26th of 2018, then there noted a number of conditions, right, having to do that, this variance runs with your name and the use of and Royal Paws, and that if anything was to change in terms of the business, that would require another application to us, right, for any change in the business if you should leave there.
correct. No, there hasn't been any change, no.
No. I'm just saying in the future.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
The next person in would have to go through the same process. It's really what it is.
Understood.
It also mentioned that the total number of staff is 5 employees with 1 overnight employee. Is that still the case?
Yes,
Okay. And that
We're four
Actually,
employees.
we're only 4 now.
Okay, but we gave you 5 just in case, and that was working. So if you have less, yeah. Hours of operation, Monday to Saturday, 8 to 6 with no Sunday hours.
That's changed. We're really 9 to 5 now.
Okay, 9 to 5. All righty. And, okay, hours of operation for the daycare boarding facility, Monday to Friday through Sunday, and that's 24 hours as required, that we understand. Pet waste removal occurs on a daily basis by the staff?
Correct.
Yes, okay. You don't have any additional signage. You knew that that would have to be approved by the Architectural Review Board, right? There's nothing there. You're subject to an annual inspection by the building inspector. And the dogs will be treated in a humane fashion at all times. So you're still in compliance with all of these issues?
Yes, we are.
Conditions, great. And you don't see any changes moving forward, right? You're going to basically operate the same way.
Correct. No
Okay.
change.
Yeah, we have had no complaints. The village has had no complaints about your operation. So we thank you for that. You did a good job. And I'll ask if there's anyone else has any questions. Okay, sounds pretty quiet out there, so no.
We're all sleeping.
Well, listen, we wish you the best. You will hear from us shortly. And we thank you for, maintaining the place and keeping it well. And we will talk to you soon.
Excellent.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too now.
Okay, next application, application number 2, application of John and Stephanie Greffy, 9 Lee Avenue, Babylon, New York, for permission to construct a second-story deck with a staircase to the ground floor requiring variances for the staircase and to reduce the total side yard setback from 20 feet permitted to 16 feet proposed, and to increase lot coverage from 25% permitted to 28.9% proposed at the premises located at 9 Lee Avenue, Babylon. Property located in A7 District, Suffolk County Real Property Tax Map District 0102, Section 20, Block 2, Lot 14. Application made in accordance with Sections 365-15, 365-26, and 365-35.
Evening.
Sorry, I think I was on mute. This is John Graff and my wife Stephanie. How are you?
Good. How are you, John?
Good.
Okay. Yeah, we just read your application into the record. So if you could explain to us what you're looking to do.
Certainly. So we live on the water. We have a beautiful view. We bought our house with an existing very small deck that is just in need of replacement. It's about 25 years old. So we want to increase the deck to a bigger size. And we're looking to, increase it to a size that comes out to the edge, I guess, of a sunroom that we have. Adding stairs so that we could, go from the deck to the outside, because right now, in order to come onto the existing deck, you have to go through either the master bedroom or a guest bedroom. So it's really not conducive to having people on the deck or entertaining, because they have to come through a bedroom space. And additionally, we'd like to be able to, get onto the deck from the outside of the house. Get off the deck, obviously, from the outside. So we need stairs to do that. The current deck doesn't have stairs. So the staircase, which will be on the left side of the house, and we'll run down the side of the stairs, side of the deck, is just necessary so we could, get off the deck to the backyard. Given we live on the water, we also think for safety purposes, important we can get down in a hurry if needed to the backyard. And so we've invited our neighbor, Peter Scarlatus, who is my direct next door neighbor and would actually face the staircase. And Peter and I have had a discussion already. He has no objections to the staircase. It will not block his view in any way. The deck will not block his views or obstruct him in any way. And so I've asked him to join just to give his, I guess, reference, if you will.
Okay,
But that's
we'll
the
have him
primary
in for-
purpose for the deck.
Okay, we'll have him in for a comment. Tell us,
Okay.
tell us about the house. How is the house set up? Where are the, the kitchen facilities? It's one, I assume one kitchen, right?
It's one kitchen, yes, it's one kitchen. The house originally was a 2-bedroom ranch in the 50s. Then after 2 extensions, the house was dormered with 2 bedrooms put on the upstairs. And then a sunroom put in the back of the house, a 4-season sunroom off the back. So, the intent is really just so we can enjoy the house. We've been in the house for 6 years. We plan to stay in the village until we retire, and really just want to build an enjoyable deck so we can enjoy the views and entertain people on it.
Okay, so the upstairs area is really just 2 bedrooms and I guess a bathroom or something, right?
Yeah, it's 2 bedrooms and a small bathroom.
Okay, okay. Everything else, all the other living facilities are on the first floor, the kitchen, I guess a living room or something like that, and whatever's, yeah.
Sunrooms up there now.
Yes, and there's 2 bedrooms on the first floor. My kids' bedrooms are downstairs. My office is upstairs and our master bedroom's upstairs.
The house almost reads like a cape, Bruce, like with a dormer in the rear.
Yeah, when you look at it on Google, Earth, that's, and when you look at the building, that's what it looks like. Yeah, it's hard to,
Yeah,
wouldn't realize it was actually 2 stories in the back.
Yeah.
From the front.
yeah, when you look at it from the front, it almost looks just like a ranch. From the back, it has a very different appearance.
Yes, I took a ride over and I went into the following block and I took a look at it from the back.
Mhm.
And my only concern was your next door neighbor, but if he agrees to it, then I don't see an issue with that.
Yeah, he has no issue, and he's actually here and is willing to speak on my behalf if you let him onto the Zoom.
Sure, yeah, we'll have him on. We want the applicant first, and then we have on anybody who wants to make a comment.
Both neighbors' houses are higher than this one too, significantly higher,
Yeah,
Yeah, my house wasn't lifted, and all of the other houses around have been lifted, so
right,
the deck wouldn't have struck anyone's view.
right.
At
So
all.
we were talking about this before we got on the online tonight. The code that set this up, right, years and years ago, more than 20 years ago, was really aimed at a concern that was popping up in the village about high ranch homes that were being rented. And so to have a 2nd-story staircase down to the ground made it a lot easier for people to do it.
No, understood.
Started finding a lot of them at the time. And so they put a code in place. That's this code came out of, to prevent that. That's why I asked the questions about, living facilities and things of that nature.
No,
If it's just living or cooking facilities, because some people, with a high ranch, it's a lot easier to turn into an illegal mother-daughter kind of situation. So,
and I completely understand,
yeah,
and can assure the board that that's not our
Right.
intention.
yep,
We have no intent
Yep.
to, convert the upstairs of our house.
right. And that's what I wanted to make sure, we talk about on the record. And then also recognize that as we take this under consideration, if we do consider it, that, we would, in all likelihood, have a stipulation that if we ever to find that this was the case, there would be other reparations, right? And other fines and taking it down and all the rest of this stuff. So just so everybody's on the same page, that was the concern. It isn't just that, we just don't like, it's that the village has a concern about the illegal use of those 2nd-story decks in some cases. So we'll listen to your story and, make a decision. Meanwhile,
I was just gonna say, I do appreciate that and can understand that the codes in that respect. So
okay.
understandable.
Anybody else have any questions?
No, I don't have any.
All righty. So I think, Kevin, we have Mr. Scarlatos? Is
Yep, adding him now.
Okay. Mr. Scarlatos,
You're muted.
How you doing?
good, how are you?
Good, ladies and gentlemen. How's everybody tonight?
Good, good. We just heard the applicant, your next door neighbors talk about their proposal. And I understand you have a comment.
Yes, I'm only commenting. I'm directly next door to John and Stephanie. So I can assure you, I'm here 26 years. So I know what the codes are and what the codes were put in place for. I can assure you that they're not looking to do anything as far as a 2-family home or a mother-daughter. It's just them and their kids. They're directly next to me. If they're going to affect anyone, they're going to affect me. I'm directly on there, and I'm on their west side. So that's my view is their home, along with the Great South Bay. So
Right.
where as far as when I raised my home, they didn't go up. I had raised my first floor is their second floor. So like when I look across at my deck, when they're on their deck, which is very tiny, they can see me. Like we're at the same level.
Right.
So they can come out as far as they want. They're never good. They're never going to affect. If you look at I mean, I know you've come down here and taken a look at it. I'm on a diagonal to the bay. So they're not taking, no matter what they build there, they're not taking away any of my view.
Right.
Their stairs would come down the side on my side of my house, which again would have no effect on me whatsoever. So I have no issues with it at all. I was only here in support. If you had any questions or, reference to what they were looking to do, we've been friends since they moved in, and great neighbors, never have an issue. They're just looking to, make the most out of their backyard, which you can expect all of us to do down here. We live on the water and we have beautiful views, and they're
Right.
kind of on this little box of a deck that they really can't, make any use out of. I mean, I'm friendly enough with where I've been on the deck, but I could go through their master bedroom to get there. Nobody else can really do that.
I got you.
I'm the only one that's probably been on that deck besides them.
Okay, thanks for your comments.
So questions,
Any other,
you can come here and take a look from my side if you want, whatever you want. I'm more than, cooperative for you to do whatever you need to do.
all right, appreciate that.
No problem, guys. You have a great night.
You too now. Anybody else have any, on our side, anybody else have any questions?
I would just ask that there be a condition that they not enclose the deck above or below, like convert it to additional living space. Just so they're not encroaching with building structure. Like I don't have a problem with the deck, but I think if it becomes house, I think then it's a little bit more intrusive at that point.
I completely understand that stipulation. I have no problems with that whatsoever.
Okay. All right. I think we have what we need. So you'll hear from us. When are you looking to do this, by the way?
I'm looking to start it as soon as possible. So,
Okay.
I'd like to be able to enjoy it for the spring if I can.
Yep. All right. Good. Just give us an idea. All right. You'll hear from us very shortly.
Great. Thank you very much for your time tonight.
Thank you.
I appreciate
Thanks.
Thank
for your
you.
it. Have a
time.
good evening.
Thanks, Mr. Scarlatos. Thanks for getting involved.
Guys, have a great
Take care. Good night, everyone.
Take care.
Okay, application number 3. Application of Amanda Cini for 444 Deer Park Avenue, Babylon, New York, for permission to operate a medical office, Gaya Midwives, PLLC, on the premises located at 444 Deer Park Avenue, Babylon, New York. Property located in Residence O District, Suffolk County Real Property Tax Map District 0102, Section 06, Block 3, Lot 26. Application made in accordance with sections 365-17 and 365-35.
Hi, everyone.
Oh, good afternoon. Good
Evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. I'm Amanda Cini. I am a Babylon Village resident, and I'm a certified nurse midwife in the state of New York. I'm the owner and operator of Gaya Midwives. We are a midwifery practice that services all of Long Island. We currently have offices in Kings Park and Riverhead. And I would like to open a satellite office in Babylon, where we would service mostly for women's health, women's gynecological services. So from adolescence through postmenopause, mostly wellness. It's not going to draw, most of our pregnant clients will be seen at the other offices.
Okay. And so explain to us what part of the building you're using the office, because we know the building really well.
Yeah.
It used to be a law office for one of its prior users.
Right.
Right. So
Yeah.
tell us how this is going to work.
So when you look at the front of the house, as you know, the door on the left-hand side is the office door. And when you walk in, it's one room. It's 15 by 20 right now. And we're thinking about eventually putting an application to put up a wall to make a waiting room and an office exam room. But currently with COVID, we're not utilizing the waiting room. Patients sit in their car and wait to come in. So we're going to put up a really nice screen to kind of just divide the areas, but do no construction currently.
Okay.
And I know that parking is probably, a concern of many people's. And I just want to explain our practice to you a little bit. We're a really sort of like concierge practice. We're very low volume. We see 1 to 2 clients an hour. So really at any given time, the patient being seen and the patient who's like waiting to be seen may be parked on Mason and Deer Park Avenue, but there's not going to be an influx of patients in and out, in and out. I'd like to have my office hours be 9 to 6, but in reality, I'll probably only work 9 to 2 most days, so I can be home for the kids after school. And then, so, from 9 to 2, a patient every hour to a half hour. So, it's a half a dozen to a dozen clients a day. And then on one Saturday a month, I'd like to have morning office hours, probably from like 8 o'clock to 1 o'clock.
Okay. Yeah, because you went to the planning board. and
Right.
I'm reading their letter, and you said one office staff is one person, 6 to 12 clients, a day. Hours of operation at that point was 8 to 3. I don't know if you want to change that to 9 to 2 or leave it 8 to 3. It's up to you.
8 to 3 is fine.
Okay. Monday through Saturday, no appointments taking more than usually 30 minutes.
Right. Yeah. And I would like to have one evening so I can service like people who are teachers, they can't come in during the day. So I've spoken to the homeowner who I'll be renting from, and I'd
Right.
like to go one day until 6 p.m. and they're completely okay with that.
Okay. Do you know which day or?
I don't know exactly yet.
Okay.
If that matters, I can let you know.
I'm just thinking about stipulations on it. That's all.
It wouldn't be a Sunday.
Okay. Okay.
It wouldn't be a Saturday either. Monday through Friday. I haven't decided on the
Monday.
day yet though.
Okay. So it could vary Monday to Friday. Could be variable based on schedules.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And okay, you mentioned no renovations at this time. There is no dumpster or anything else because there's no medical waste or anything.
There's some medical waste, but we have like a small kitchen-sized trash bag for
Right.
regular garbage, and then medical waste is disposed of from a medical supply company.
Oh, you do? Okay, good,
Mhm.
good. Okay. Have you talked to any of the neighbors?
I haven't.
Okay.
Tara is a good friend of mine, and she's on tonight with us. The homeowner, Tara and Billy Gonzalez.
All right. Now, somebody lives in the home?
Yes.
Oh.
Tara and Billy Gonzalez live in the home with their family.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. All right. And, all right, so typically, your patients make just call you for an appointment?
Call me, or they can schedule themselves online.
Okay.
Self-scheduling.
Now, somebody brought up the question of access to the facility. Did you talk to the building department at all? Do you have to have a ramp access for ADA?
No one mentioned that to me. And in our other offices, they're both second floor offices. So I've never run into that before. And we do, one of the other things we do in our practice is home visits. So
Right.
if anyone had a concern and wasn't able to make it up the 4 steps that are there, we could always see them at home.
Okay. It's probably a discussion you need to have with the building inspector. I don't know if have you met?
I've spoken to him.
Okay.
Yeah, we discussed that, and I told him that it wasn't an issue for my practice.
Okay. Okay. As long as he's on board with
Yeah.
whatever. So,
Yeah, we spoke.
okay. All right. And then, as we consider this would be considered, for us, it would be considered, say, a time variance because it's in a Residence O area. Residence O zone in the village abuts residential property. So we're very concerned about making sure it's low volume, making sure it doesn't cause any other concerns.
Right.
We know that just north of you, which helps you, I guess, from the parking perspective, is that rather large dental office, right? On the northwest corner of that intersection, which is good. But so we would we would, if we approve this, we'd see you, similar to what we did on the first application this evening, is that we'd be seeing each other periodically,
Okay, great.
few years or so, just to make sure everything has been good, and there haven't been any complaints and things.
Right, of course.
Okay, just so you understand the nature of that. Okay, and when are you looking to start this?
I'd love to open as soon as possible. We're ready to go as soon as I get the clearance.
Oh, okay, because of the fact it's more consulting, you can move pretty quickly?
We have, like I said, we have the 2 existing offices. So in terms of supplies and what I need, I know exactly what I need. So, in terms
Okay.
of furniture and our medical supplies, like I could have that in there in no
Okay.
time. We already have a client base.
Okay.
So
Now, do you need licenses from New York State to do this?
yep,
Okay. Have
I'm a
you,
licensed nurse midwife and a licensed registered nurse,
okay, what was the first one?
certified nurse midwife.
Oh, okay. Can you provide us copies of those?
Sure.
Okay, just so we
Can I
have,
email them to Maureen?
yeah, to Maureen.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so it's the person providing the service, not the business itself that has to be licensed?
Right.
Okay,
Our business is licensed with the state too. We're a professional limited liability corporation.
Yeah.
Right.
okay.
Yep.
Actually, you know what? That would be good for us to have a copy of that as well.
Yeah,
we-
that we our practice is I've been a midwife my entire motherhood, so I'm moving away from being on call and doing more office hours. So we are in the process of currently possibly breaking off into 2 separate PLLCs.
Right,
So Gaia Midwives is very well known in the birth community, so they're probably going to keep their name, and I may change my name just to let them keep that.
okay.
So if that's the case, and I set up
Right.
a PLLC, how should I, proceed forward with that, in terms of you guys?
Well, let's see. Right now, this application's under Gaia, correct?
I put my name and Gaia on the application.
Okay, but you don't have a license to operate yet separately, if I'm understanding this
No,
right.
I have a license to operate. I can operate. I don't need to have I don't have the name with New York State yet for the new.
She doesn't have a DBA yet. She has a license to do the work she wants to do. But I
Right.
think what she's talking about is setting up a separate entity different from
Yeah,
Gaia.
Right, John. I'm actually not setting up a DBA though. I'm setting up
Okay,
most likely a new PLLC.
a new PLC. Yeah, so you want to separate from Gaia. So then the question is, would the special permit could she transfer it from Gaia to the new LLC? I think we could make that a condition where we say, it's as long as the LLC is the member of the LLC is the applicant Amanda Sini, I think we can allow her to change LLCs if she wants.
I'm
But if
days
she-
away from having the new name. It's already in New York State. It's being processed. So
So, yeah.
Oh, okay, so you're along. Yeah, I think you're right. We did this actually with one of the daycare centers. We had a similar situation where the woman who ran the daycare center came to us, oh my goodness, over 10 years of renewals. And then she changed her operation in the middle someplace. So it's not a big issue. But as long as we have your license information, so we know that you have whatever you need to
yeah, and that won't change at all.
Yeah. So I would say, as John did, just let us know as that moves forward. And
Okay, definitely.
we could handle that one.
Yeah, as soon as I have any of that documentation, I'll send that over to you as well.
Okay. And then, so we'll just go forward on the on what we have right now and then make whatever changes. Now, since Guy is gonna have this, at least initially, is that gonna be an issue with them to make the transfer?
Not at all.
Quite
No,
sure.
it's
Okay.
completely amicable. It's just like logistical.
Okay,
Yeah, they're hoping to open a birth center, and I want to move away. I'm going away from that. I've been delivering babies for a long time and take care of my own babies now.
okay. Okay, so off the subject, how many babies you think you've delivered?
Oh, close to 1,000.
Really?
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
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 Yeah,
Wow. All right. Wow.
Impressive.
it's amazing.
right.
I mean, I love it. It's like bittersweet to leave, but I
Yeah.
think like many people, the pandemic's kind of put things in perspective and realized where I need to put my priorities.
Yeah, that's
So-
great. All right. Any other questions from us?
I've got two questions. One is, how often does the medical waste get picked up and disposed of?
I
by
call,
the-
yeah, we usually pick it up monthly. It turns out to be about monthly, but I can call anytime. As soon as we have like, the red pail for sharps. Whenever that gets full, I can call, they'll pick it up.
And then, will there be anyone else initially working at that location besides yourself?
At this location, no, it'll be just me. And eventually I'll have a good friend, Christine Blanche, who's a medical doctor who performs thermography. She's going to be doing breast thermography and whole body thermography. She'll be I'd like to have her in one day a month.
Okay.
But you'd stay to that, 2 patients an hour, no more than 2 patients an hour on those? Okay.
That would not change.
Right. Okay. Anybody else? Do you have to have special provisions for COVID patients today, or how does that work?
Yeah, so we take everyone's temperature coming in, we wear masks, they wear masks, we sanitize everything between clients. So right now we're really spacing people out to, be able to have the time to do that in between visits.
Okay, great.
All the same that, every
thing.
medical office is doing. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And then, yep.
All right. I think we're through with questions. Just want to make sure. I'm looking at the board here. All right. Good.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for your time.
You'll hear from us shortly. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Take care now. Have a good night.
You too.
Good night.
So should I
Kevin,
bring?
do we don't
property
have
owner-
anybody, we have a commenter on this?
The property owner left, so I guess they were good. Bringing in the resident now.
Fine. You're on mute.
Okay.
There you are.
Hi, I'm Marie Gallet. I'm at 436 Deer Park Avenue. I'm 2 houses away from where Amanda is asking to set up her business. I just want to say that I have no objection to the business being there. I'm, a lifetime Babylon resident, and I'm aware that there has been an office of some sort there forever. My only concern was, and I think she already talked about it, was the parking. And my concern would just be that anything on Deer Park Avenue would be far enough away from the corner of Mason so that any vehicles that were making the turn going south from Mason onto Deer Park Avenue, that it would not, restrict the vision of the driver. But
Gotcha.
I think there's more than enough room there that it's not going to be a problem. And, hearing her presentation with one patient at a time kind of, answered, anything that I was concerned about.
Okay, very good. Okay, thank you, Mrs. Dele.
Okay,
Appreciate your comments.
thank you.
Take care now.
You too.
Kevin, anybody else?
No, that's it.
Okay. All right. Let's move on to, let's take up the business of this evening. We know we have to wait 7 days for any additional comments coming in from the public. But I think we can move forward at least on a contingent basis on some of these applications. So let's talk about that. Any questions about the first application of Cindy Chicheri of Royal Paws? Any concerns about the renewal?
No, none here.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve her renewal application?
Okay, with the same covenants and restrictions.
Yes. The same
And for-
covenant.
For a period of the same 3 years?
Yes.
Okay, have a second?
Second.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Unanimous. Okay, and again, we have to wait 7 days to see if any other comments come in. Second one, application of John and Stephanie Greff of 9 Lee Avenue. Any discussion on this one?
No, their second story deck is going to be lower than, it's going to be like the same height as Scarlato's, their next door neighbor's first story deck.
Yeah,
I just don't see, the impact. Like I said, unless he's going to enclose it above or below, I don't really have an issue with it.
okay. And I think as long as, we make it strong that, a statement that, there shall not be any, use of the structure as a two-family dwelling, right? So I think we got that message across. I don't think that's the plan. It's certainly not the plan that I've heard from them. So I think we just need to strengthen that. Okay. Then I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion for approval on the application of John and Stephanie Greff, okay, on 9 Lee Avenue in Babylon,
Okay.
for the deck and the stairway to go down to the ground level, as long as they maintain a one-family dwelling and they do not enclose the deck as additional living space.
All right. Have a second?
Second.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Unanimous. All right. Third one, application of Amanda Sini for 444 Deer Park Avenue, permission to operate a medical office. Gaia Midwives, ELLC. Issues with this one? Okay, then I'll entertain a motion on this one.
I'll move to approve the application of Amanda Sini, 444 Deer Park Avenue, for permission to operate a medical office at that location for a period of 3 years.
Do we want to put the hours of operation in those and the limitation on the number of patients per hour?
Yes.
Yeah, we should.
I'll just add it, I happen to have it in front of me, for the planning board letter, well, she had indicated 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Monday through Saturday, which you kind of confirmed, with appointments generally taking from 30 minutes to an hour, 1 to 2 patients an hour, 1 Saturday a month from 8 to 1 p.m. and one Monday and Friday until 6 p.m., which is going to be variable. So we may say one day a week until 6 p.m. during the week. You could say it that way. They're also, I think also you want some of the other, it says clients and employees will park along the north or south side of Mason Avenue. Is another one that'll keep them off Deer Park Avenue. That was in the planning board letter. So I think that should be included. Maureen, we do need to get our licenses. So we need to have that in the record. No dumpsters planned. The medical waste is handled according to New York State Department of Health guidelines and disposed of appropriately. That needs to be in there. That's all coming out of the planning board letter. Any signage has to be approved by the ARB. And that's about it. So
Do we want to put in there her future possible transition, the name of the company?
well, she hasn't done it yet. So we have until it's official, right? I guess it's not. So let's let it play out. I just wondered whether or not Gaia was going to, if this was a peaceful split. Sounds like it is, so it shouldn't be an issue.
Okay.
Okay. So with that, I'll second. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? No. Okay. So that takes care of this evening's applications. And again, we'll wait 7 days to get any other comments. In terms of old business, I do have at least a verbal on Lockwood that Mr. Lockwood is withdrawing his application for 23 Yacht Club Road. So that will come off our agenda items next month. Lifeline Restoration, similarly, it does not appear that they have to come before us after discussions I've had with the building inspector. And so, and Maureen, if you could follow up with him on that subject, just to make sure he closes the loop with them. I'll let City MD go to last. There is a, we have referred both Mr. Newell, 450 Fire Island Avenue, as well as 38 James Street Corp. to council to prepare findings and contemplation of denial. We did that last month, and he's still working on those. So hopefully we will see those soon. And then last, we do have, I just want to make sure everybody has it. Everybody has received his findings for City MD. Yes? Yes. Okay. And what I'd like to do before we take up his actual findings is I know that some of us have done some additional research over the past month, on these on this application and some of the other facilities that City MD has in the area, specifically in the town, to kind of confirm some statements that have been made on the record by them during the hearing. And the first one I'd like to ask is if Jeff has some information on ambulance runs and things of that nature. If you can fill us in, Jeff.
Right. Thank you, Bruce. I discussed it with our this information with our fire chief and our town of Babylon fire marshal, who also happens to be a village trustee, Anthony Cardali. He's the chief fire marshal. He was able to obtain for us the statistics from Babylon Central Fire Alarm, which is the dispatching entity for the town of Babylon fire departments. And what he submitted to me was that during the year 2020, the 3 City MD facilities in the town of Babylon had the following number of ambulance calls at their locations. City MD in Deer Park at 1930 Deer Park Avenue, 62. City MD in North Lindenhurst at 656 North Wellwood Avenue, 129. And City MD 901 Sunrise Highway in the North Amityville Fire District had 40. In comparison, away from that, there's also an urgent care in West Babylon on Lily's Neck Road. They had 74. So those numbers, they all seem to be relatively, within a range of each other, based on, I guess, their demographics.
Okay. And as I recall, on the record, they had indicated, or their team had indicated that it was very rare that an ambulance would be called. It doesn't seem to be as rare based on some of the numbers we're hearing here. So certainly that was a concern of ours, as well as, we had indicated parking was, of course, a concern of ours because given its location on that corner, which is a very busy corner, and of course being surrounded essentially by residential property in the Residence O area. I had looked at the other 3, the one in Copeg, Lindenhurst on Wellwood Avenue, North Wellwood, and Deer Park, and found that all 3 of those locations were located in a large shopping area that had much more parking than is available with this separate lot. So, we didn't see the issue. I have also personally passed the Deer Park Avenue location at the end of the month. I think it was the 30th of December, I believe, right around there. And there was a line outside going around the building, people waiting to get in. It's interesting to note that when you go on their website, they do mention that they have something called a virtual line, which theoretically gives people an opportunity to make an appointment and then come back at some later time when they call you. The problem seems to be as well, and this just proliferates the lines outside, is that to get on the virtual line, one has to wait on a physical line that starts at sometimes it's as early as 6 a.m. with people lining up outside the building trying to sign in for something to come back later on. So it's a concern. Those concerns I think that we brought up at the hearing continue and have maybe even been exacerbated by some additional information. I don't know if anybody else on the board has any history, with personal care facilities and having to, see these kinds of lines out there. But,
Yeah, I have seen, the lines in Deer Park myself, usually every Sunday in that area. Jeff, I had a question about the ambulance runs. Would this data include any private ambulances that might transport people from these facilities to a hospital, or are these just rescue runs by volunteer fire departments and such?
No, they're basically E911 calls.
All right, so potentially
It's not Hunter, it's not TransStar, it's
right.
The emergency services within the county.
Okay, so the numbers could be higher too.
Yeah, well, it all depends.
Yeah.
There was, I saw something from David. Bruce, you saw that from David. He talked about experiencing something like that. He had an eye injury or something, and he wanted to call an ambulance for him.
Yeah. I guess we've all had, experienced urgent care facilities, the ability to get into them when our doctors aren't available or whatever. And yeah, his experience was they had called an ambulance for him as well. But I guess the point being that it happens more often than was portrayed in their testimony. And that's really the point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now, having said that, and having everybody had reviewed the letter, I'd want to, are there any comments, first of all, on the findings from David? Okay, I know John had to step aside. So not hearing any additional comments, I'll entertain a motion to accept David's findings for denial of city ND.
I'll move to accept the findings of our attorney, David Roth, the findings regarding city MD, their request to operate within the confines of the village of Babylon at 8 Little East Neck Road.
Okay. I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I know, John, you have to abstain.
I'm recusing, yes.
Recuse, yes, okay. Okay, I'm trying to think if we needed anything else. Did we need to, because we did request, if you remember correctly, we did request David to go back to them about that escrow account that they never provided to us. And I don't think they rejected that request and requested a decision. But I don't think we have to do anything with that. So, okay, so we accepted his findings. Having said that, I mentioned where the other items are on the agenda for the future. I don't have anything else. So is there any other business? Okay, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
Second.